All right, welcome everyone to this virtual workshop, Eat Better on a Budget. I'm going to be taking you guys through 10 strategies that I use all the time to lower my grocery bill while still keeping healthy eating a major priority. So I have a slideshow to present to you guys. If you guys have questions during the presentation, I am happy to answer things as they come. So if you guys want to use the chat in Zoom and just kind of chat a question, it'll pop up for me, I think, and I'll be able to answer you guys as things come up. And then I just realized that I probably want to play a sound when people request to join. Otherwise, I might not be able to know that people are wanting to join. Also, if you guys want to turn your video off, however you guys want to make this work, then I'm happy for you guys just to listen along and just be there however you want to be here. Okay, so we're really going to start now with Eat Better on a Budget. This is a workshop to learn 10 strategies to save money while eating healthy. A little bit about me before we start. I know a lot of you guys know me already, but just in case you don't, my name's Rachel Eslick. I'm a fitness and nutrition coach, and I've been doing this since about 2015. My business name is Reach Fitness, and I coach people in kettlebells. That's my specialty fitness training. And then I'm certified by Precision Nutrition for my nutrition coaching. Precision Nutrition is a company that specifically coaches trainers like me in how to coach fitness clients to eat better, lose fat, build muscle in a holistic sort of way. So it's designed specifically for trainers like me to coach their clients in nutrition. And I've been doing a nutrition course. It's a group course called Macros for Muscles for about the last year and a half. And it's a 8-week course to learn how to use macronutrients and macro tracking to build muscle and lose fat. We also incorporate moderation, habit stacking. It's a great program, in my opinion. And some of you guys who are on this call have done Macros for Muscle, so hopefully you can vouch for it. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later if you want to know more about it. If not, that's fine too. Primarily in this workshop, we're going to be talking about 10 strategies to save money while eating healthy. I'm going to give you my definition of healthy eating because this isn't a course or this isn't a workshop about how to save money while eating keto or while intermittent fasting or while being a vegan. So I'm going to tell you what I mean, what healthy eating means to me, and that's the basis that we'll go off of. And then I'm going to talk about what to prioritize spending your money on and what's overrated. I'll also give you guys a chance to have some input and to ask questions, of course. So that's our overview. So we'll get into what I think is healthy. So this could, be different for everyone, but for me and the pillars of Macros for Muscles and kind of how I coach my clients with their nutrition is focusing on lean protein, focusing on getting ample fruits and vegetables, produce, whole grains, eating all of the macronutrients. And if you're not sure what a macronutrient is, there's 3 main macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So it's a little bit more of like taking calories and then zeroing in a little bit on where those calories come from: protein, carbs, and fat. I like for people to eat, not eliminate any foods necessarily, or not eliminate fat or carbohydrates, but kind of eat everything, a wide variety of sources of protein and fat and produce, all that good stuff. We focus on minimally processed foods. So trying to eat like less Doritos and more, things that look like what they were sort of supposed to be. Moderation in all the things, including serving sizes, And then just, taking a step back and keeping big picture in mind, overall consistency. We're not going to have big changes happen in 2 weeks, and you're also not going to derail your efforts in 2 days. So just keeping in mind, this is a process, it's a lifetime pursuit, and we take our time, be as consistent as possible, and that's going to yield best results. So that to me is what healthy is. And now we're going to get into the 10 tips that I want to share with you today. So tip number one, and if you do not take anything else away from this workshop, I want you to take this away, that meal planning is going to be the biggest dial mover to help you save money in your pursuit for healthy eating. So this picture is a notepad that I personally use. You can get it on Amazon if you want, and you can just type in the search "what to eat" notepad. I believe it's $10, and it comes in a bunch of different colors, but I use this on a weekly basis to help me plan out what dinners I'm going to make, what to have on hand for my kind of go-to breakfasts and lunches and snacks. And I've been doing this for a long time, so I kind of just keep it simple and make it easy on myself. There's 5 to 10 meals that are sort of like in the rotation, and I'll just write them down and make sure I have the stuff for them. If you've never done this before, 2 things. Number one, you could look to like a meal planning service or a blogger or cookbook. And one that I've used in the past is Fed and Fit. It's a blog, and there's a couple cookbooks. One of them is called Cook Once, Eat All Week, and another one is called Cook Once, Dinner Fix. Both of them are great. I have both of those cookbooks. I'm sure there's like a million different versions of kind of the same thing. But if you want to get some ideas, or just kind of start with someone else making a plan for you in terms of like, these are the dinners you're going to make for this week, I would encourage you to kind of like look some stuff up if you have no idea sort of where to start. But if that's too overwhelming, then I'm telling you, keep it simple. My dinner last night was like rice, roasted broccoli, and some rotisserie chicken that I sauteed in teriyaki. I mean, it doesn't get more simple than that. And so the more simple you can keep it, and the more like easy you make this on yourself, I think the easier it is to stick with it. So you're going to make a meal plan. From that meal plan, you're going to make a grocery list, and definitely, as much as you can, stick to it and try not to shop outside of your weekly grocery run or your weekly haul that is considering the plan. So I'm going to dial in a little bit more into a meal planning cheat sheet that I developed. And anyone that's gone through my macros course has seen this, but it's a 6-step process. And this is kind of outside of the 10 tips today, but I'm going to email this to you, and you're going to see it a couple different times. But these are the 6 steps that I recommend to make meal planning very simple. The first one is to assess what you have. So this is going to help you save money, right? Use what you already have. Go through your pantry, go through your fridge, go through your freezer. Look at what you have that you can make meals from. Maybe you gain inspiration because you have some ground chicken that you forgot about at the bottom of the freezer. Maybe you could use that for some like burrito bowls. Make a plan, use what you have, and then figure out, how you can fill in the gaps with other things that you need or want to build out your menu for the week. Obviously, if you know you're going to be doing activities with your family, or you have, certain days that you already know you're going to be out to eat, or that it's going to be a struggle to get dinner on the table, don't plan for a fancy dinner that night. Maybe you already know it's a takeout night, or you already know you're going to do a crock pot thing that day. But consider, your calendar when you're making your plan. From your plan, build your grocery list. So that's the 3rd step. What do you need to make all the meals that are in your plan, and your snacks and all that good stuff? Do your grocery shopping from your list. So I do online grocery shopping. That way I have less impulse purchases. I honestly don't really even like going into the grocery store that often because I feel like it's a hassle. So try to go one time to the grocery store, or do your pickup, or do your delivery, or whatever that looks like. Get the food in the house. Step 5, follow the plan. So kind of as you're getting ready for your day, and maybe you're making your lunch to take to work, or you're making your breakfast, or whatever it is, look at your meal plan and, oh yeah, I need to take that chicken out of the freezer and let it defrost so that tonight I can put together those burrito bowls. So follow the plan, keep it in a place. I keep mine on the side of the fridge. And then step 6 is totally optional, because in this workshop, we're talking about being a little bit more budget conscious. For macros, I talk about doubling up your protein. So if you're going to make 1 pound of ground chicken, why not make 2? And then you have extra chicken that you can build into your breakfast or build into your lunch the next day. So this is optional. Protein is one of the more expensive items that's going to be in your grocery list or in your grocery haul. So if that's not feasible right now, then don't worry about it, but just keep that in the back of your mind for the future. That's a great way. Just double up whatever you're making so that you have it, as a go-to for snacks, lunches, breakfasts down the road. And I meant to mention that I was doing some reading over the last week or so, and I've seen like between 10 and 20% is the amount that groceries have gone up in the past year. So that's why I felt like it was time to do this workshop. It's been on my mind for a long time, but I felt like it was finally time to just do it, because I feel it. I know other people are like, man, groceries are so expensive. How can we make this easier and still eat healthy? Because those two things don't have to be exclusive of one another. In fact, I think they marry together quite nicely as long as you have a plan. Okay, so step 3 in these 10 strategies we'll talk about today is to stock up on protein sources. So specifically lean meat, so like your chickens and your turkey and your pork, more so than things like sausage and hot dogs, salami, things like that aren't as lean. That's going to be better for your diet. Fish, eggs, egg whites, these are things that I have in my fridge all the time. Yogurt, cottage cheese, protein powder, the list goes on. So stock up on items like that. Things that are a little bit less expensive are ground meat. So instead of buying like an expensive tri-tip or an expensive cut of whatever, steak or salmon or whatever, think about ground meat. I use that a lot, and it's really fast to prepare usually. So it's a time saver and a money saver. Pork loin is one of the less expensive lean meats that you can buy. Canned tuna. These are just a few examples, and you guys, you know what you like, and you know what costs more at your grocery store too. But don't forget about these ones. And then in terms of other protein sources, yes, beans, nuts, butters, seeds, things like that. They are some less expensive sources of protein. However, they don't have a ton of protein in them. So for example, beans, yes, they have protein, but it is more of a carbohydrate than it is a protein. And nuts and seeds and nut butters, yes, they do have protein, but it's more of a fat than it is a protein. So just keep that in mind when you're like, oh, but this has protein. Well, it's actually, there's a small amount of protein for the amount of like fat or carbohydrate that's also in there. So it's good to include, but not good to like majorly lean on for your protein sources. Okay, now we're going to talk about prioritizing produce. So this is step 4 and step 5. We want to get enough produce for the week, so like fruits and vegetables, but again, lean on your plan, because I think what we sometimes do when we're like, I'm going to start eating healthy, is we stock up majorly on like, you buy a pound of spinach and put it in the fridge, and then a week later, everything's wilted. You've eaten maybe 1 handful of it, and then it goes to waste. So be careful about overstocking your fresh fruits and vegetables. Just buy what you need. And you'll find out over time through, trial and error, like how much you actually need. And then if you're throwing stuff away, don't forget that you can also buy canned and frozen produce. Typically, the things that are canned and frozen are picked when they're ripe and then preserved either with canning or freezing. So it is a good way to get like ripe produce that's just been kept for you. And then farmers markets and stuff like that, sometimes you can find deals when you're buying things fresh and seasonal, sort of like locally. So produce is great. We want to have it on hand, but just be careful of overbuying it, especially I know I've made that mistake and I hear other people, my clients talk about doing that too. So we hope that it's an incentive to eat more of it, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. And then this might be controversial. I hope you guys, use your own judgment, but if you're trying to watch your bottom line, don't fall into the trap of feeling like you have to buy everything organic. Okay. So a lot of times you can have a more reasonable price point if you just use like traditional instead of organic. And this could go for fruits and vegetables, it can go for cookies, it can go for meat, all the things. There's a thing called the Dirty Dozen. If you haven't heard of it, the Dirty Dozen is like the fruits and vegetables that you want to prioritize getting organic because we're eating the skin. So think about like tomatoes and strawberries and blueberries, things like that, maybe zucchini. But if you're just taking off the skin anyways, that's a great time to save a buck, rinse off your fruit or vegetable anyways, wash your hands. You're going to take that skin off. That's where most of the pesticides are anyways. So, use your own best judgment. But a lot of times I just get regular stuff and it's like sometimes significantly cheaper than the organic version. Not everything has to be organic. Okay, another tip, number 6 is expensive drinks. Like, do you really need expensive drinks? The healthiest thing that you can drink is water, and it's free. I have a picture here of different spa waters that you can make, and you can just throw make it super easy, some lemon or some lime in your ice water, a pinch of salt for some electrolytes, especially in the summer. But you can use the produce you have on hand to flavor your water, instead of buying, flavored water, alcohol, kombucha, sparkling water. I'm super guilty of that. Soda, energy drinks, all the things. I heard another nutrition person talk about expensive pee one time, and that really resonated with me. We spend all this money on things that we just pee right out. So it's draining our bank account, and it doesn't provide all of these things, alcohol, kombucha, sparkling water, soda. They don't provide a ton of nutritional benefits or value, but they do cost a lot of money. So skip those things as much as possible. I mean, if you want to justify buying sparkling water because you know that you'll drink more of it, then cool, you do you. But I just think that we can really save a lot of money by skipping a lot of these expensive drinks. I will say kombucha has and you guys are probably thinking this too. Kombucha does have probiotics, which are good for your gut health, but those exist in other foods too, like yogurt, fermented foods like kimchi. So don't feel like if you're not drinking kombucha, like your digestion is not going to work, because that's not true. Okay. Tip number 7 and 8. Number 7 is, I call this whole paycheck. You guys have heard of Whole Foods as whole paycheck because it's expensive a lot of times to shop at some of the gourmet or fancier shopping places in your area. So just remember that where you shop matters. If you feel like your grocery bill is just sky high, why don't you try a different, less fancy grocery store in your area? I shop at Walmart. I do the online app. I go pick it up because that's super convenient with me. So 90% of our groceries are Walmart. And then, once a month or something, we'll go to Costco and stock up on the things that we need to buy in bulk. When you do buy things in bulk, just remember, freeze what you can't use immediately so that stuff doesn't go to waste. Another tip is that weekends matter too. So I think a lot of times we're in our routine Monday through Thursday, we're kind of on it, we're working, we're doing, really good with our meal plan, and we're just on top of it. And then the weekend happens and we don't have as much of a routine. We're, socializing, we're drinking more, we're eating out more. And I think that sometimes when we're meal planning, we sort of skip the weekend and just say, whatever happens, happens. And I think that we should kind of keep the weekend in mind when we're meal planning. If you know that you have a party to go to or whatever, then obviously don't make dinner that night, but still have healthy food that you need for breakfast and for lunch. And, still most of your food on the weekends is going to be healthy and is going to be from home. Just the more frequently you eat and drink out, the more money you're going to spend. And I mean, for a family, especially going out to eat one night, you could easily spend as much money or more that you spent on a week's worth of groceries. I know when that happens to us, it just kind of blows my mind. But just remember that weekends can sort of like be a free for all. And in terms of like our nutrition and in terms of budget, that could be a real game changer to kind of tighten things up on the weekends. Last couple tips, supplements. So I think these are largely a waste of money. If you're doing the big stuff like eating a variety of protein, eating the rainbow in terms of your fruits and vegetables, eating seasonal produce, drinking water, getting some sun on your face, like vitamin D. I think a lot of supplements are unnecessary. And I think it's very easy to buy supplements and think you're doing yourself a service. Unless your doctor has told you need this supplement because you're deficient in X, Y, or Z, I really think the only supplement that is necessary for most people and most women is probably a protein powder. And I say a protein powder because it's the most cost efficient protein supplement, more so than protein bars, pre-made protein shakes. Those things are about $2 to $3 a pop. And protein powder typically is about $1 per serving. And you can mix it into yogurt. You can make a protein shake with it yourself. You can make a protein smoothie. So I really lean on protein powder to help me get my protein up throughout the day. But I think a lot of supplements, if you feel like you're taking a lot or you don't know, feel free to ask me questions about it. But I think a lot of supplements can probably be skipped if you're doing the big stuff like eating lean meat, protein, fruits and vegetables. You're getting a ton of benefits, vitamins, minerals, and nutrients from those things. Fish. Okay, and last but not least, consider the cost of something versus the convenience. So we can sort of have it all, but maybe not all at the same time. So if time is your biggest issue and you're like, I don't care what things cost, I just want this to be quick and easy, then you might spend a little bit more money on pre-made salad kits or a meal service where you're having, meals that you just need to pop in the microwave delivered to your house, or sandwiches that are already made or whatever. But if money is the thing that you're most conscientious about, then maybe you're buying stuff in bulk and, splitting it out and chopping your own vegetables and assembling your own salads and making your own sandwiches and making more of your meals, yourself. So just consider those two things. What matters most to you? Is it the convenience or is it the cost? And so just making your own decisions based on, what matters the most to you. Okay, those are my 10 tips, you guys. I would love it if you guys have things that are helpful to you that you do on a regular basis or that you've done in the past or that you know about. If you have any additions, I love group coaching. I love kind of groups in general because I think we can all learn from one another. I don't know everything. Some of you guys probably have some great ideas. So I would love to know. You can throw it in the chat or you can raise your virtual hand if you want to give us some additions. And then also, if you have any questions for me, I would love to answer questions. Same thing, you can pop it in the chat or you can raise your virtual hand and I will call on you guys if you have questions as they come up. I want to tell you a little bit as you guys are thinking about whether or not you want to ask a question or give some additional information. So I appreciate you guys being in this workshop. It's something that I really wanted to do just to give for free because I think it's really important in this day and age. And since you sort of like raised your hand that you're interested in healthy nutrition information, I will keep you guys posted on the next Macros for Muscles course that I'll be running. It'll be later on, sort of at the end of September. We're going to do an 8-week course to learn everything about how to dial in your macros, how to dial in your nutrition, learn how to, fuel yourself for your optimal performance and losing fat, maintaining muscle, or even building muscle in the process. I think it's a great course. I'm biased, but some of you guys here have taken it. I will let you guys know when that's happening, and so that you can sort of mark your calendar, end of September, macros for muscles. If you guys don't have any questions or you are good with the information, that's all I have, and I'll let you guys go. Again, I super appreciate you guys being here live. I appreciate anyone that's watching this recording. Thank you for trusting me, and thank you for spending the time with me. Oh, Megan, you have a question. Why don't you go ahead?
Do you have any go-tos at Trader Joe's? Knowing that
in terms of like healthy food, or in terms of like budget friendly food, or both?
Both, or one or the other, if you have ideas there. Just knowing that it, at least where I live, it tends to slightly be cheaper than like the Safeways and whatnot. So just curious if there's anything that you're like, I always go to Trader Joe's to get this to have in the house.
Yeah, I like some of their salad kits, and I feel like they always change, but there's like a ranch crunch one lately that I really liked. I like their seasoned chicken breast and chicken thigh. They have like it's in the refrigerated section. They have a pesto chicken breast, and then they have a shawarma, if I said that right, like chicken thigh or chicken breast. That's really tasty, and super high in protein, tastes good, and the calories and the macros are good. I like the frozen pizza that's like a thin crust, and it's cauliflower crust with sauce and cheese already on it. And that way it's really easy to just put like some chicken, and I like red onions, and then do like a barbecue chicken pizza where you just add your own toppings. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want with the toppings. This is random, but I really like the enchilada sauce. I like to put it over my like breakfast tacos, like so eggs. I like it on tacos in general, or like burrito bowls. Oh, what else do I get? I don't know. It's so fun at Trader Joe's just to like look at all the things. I wish I could buy everything there, but then I don't know what I would do with it.
Totally.
What do you like from Trader Joe's?
Okay, so I always buy chomps there. I know I'm like the biggest proponent of
the chomp. I've never had a chomp, but it's like a beef stick, or it's a meat stick.
Yeah. I get really distracted there. I like go down the aisles and find all the like fun things that are not necessary. So it is not a budget friendly place for me, other than like the fact that it can run a little bit cheaper. Because I do like
when I'm at Trader Joe's, I do buy like the bags of broccoli that are pre-chopped, or there's a lot of like convenience factor at Trader Joe's. And to me, like if it's a barrier for me to sit there and chop broccoli in order to get it into the oven and make a meal, if it's already chopped, that's one thing that I'm like, and I just dump it onto the baking tray and season it. And it takes me like 10 less minutes to get something going. So I like the aspect of like produce is ready to go. Some of it, right? Not all of it.
Totally. No, those are good ideas. And I've become a total convert on your apple cider drinks there.
Oh yeah. The lime one, or the green, there's like a green one and a red one. Those are good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Cheaper than kombucha, and kind of has that like vinegary sort of feel to it. Yeah. Yes, good questions for anyone who has Trader Joe's in their area. My Trader Joe's is now like a 15-20 minute drive. So I feel like that's another one where I'll pop in kind of once a month, and then want to buy all the things. And then, and then I won't go there for a while. But I do like to stock up on those pizzas because it's a good like Friday night pizza fix. Awesome sauce. Anybody else have questions before I sign off? All right, I'm happy we kept this to like 30 minutes. I was trying to talk fast. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast, but I also didn't want to ramble. So thank you guys again. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And please Hit me up if you guys have questions. I'm going to follow up with an email with all this stuff that you can rewatch, review, all the things. Okay. All right. Take care.